Good morning, students. I am Shondip Nondi. Today I discuss about a topic environmental law. First is Water Act in 1974. The Water Act was enacted in 1974 to provide for the preservation and control of water pollution and for maintaining or restoring of water in the country. This is the first law passed in India whose objective was to ensure that the domestic and industrial pollutants are not discharged into rivers and lakes without adequate treatment. The reason is that such a discharge rendered the water unsuitable as a source of drinking water as well as for the purposes of irrigation and support marine life. In order to achieve its objective, the pollution control boards, that is PCB, at central and state levels were created to establish and enforce standards for discharging pollutants into water bodies. Okay. Next is the Air Pollution Act. The Air Act in 1981. The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act in 1981 was enacted to provide for the preservation, control, and abatement of air pollution in India. It is a specialized piece of legalization which was enacted to take appropriate steps for the preservation of natural resources of the earth, which among other things include the preservation of the quality of air and control of air pollution. The prime objectives of the Act are preservation, control, and abatement of air pollution. Also, to maintain the quality of air. Next is the Environment Protection Act. It was the Bhopal gas strategy which necessitated the government of India to enact a comprehensive environmental legalization, including rules relating to storing, handling, and use of hazardous waste. On the basis of these rules, the Indian Parliament enacted Environment Protection Act in 1986. This is an umbrella legalization that consolidated the previous provisions of the Water Act of 1974 and the Air Act of 1981. Within this framework of the legalizations, the government established pollution control boards in order to prevent, control, and abate environmental pollution. Next is noise pollution rules. In 2000, there was no direct provision for noise pollution under the Environment Protection Act in 1986 or any other legalization. The increasing ambient noise level in public places from various sources like industrial activity, generator sets, loudspeaker, vehicles horn, etc. have harmful effects on human health. It was the need of the hour to come with a law which would regulate and control noise producing sounds with the objective of maintaining the ambient air quality standards in respect of noise. Therefore, the central government formed the noise pollution rules in 2000. These rules have been laid down by the government to reduce environmental noise pollution. Certain standards, such as the ambient air quality standards, have been set by the government. The permissible levels of noise are different for different areas, such as industries, commercial, residential areas, and silence zone also. Basically, the silent zones are hospitals, educational institution, courts, etc. Okay. Now, next is the Public Liability Insurance Act. This act aims to provide immediate relief to the persons affected by accident occurring while handling by hazardous substance. It provides that every owner shall take out, before he starts handling any hazardous substances, one or more insurance policies providing for contracts of insurance. The objective of taking insurance is that the compensation resulting from the possible future accident is guaranteed. The collectors of the area has been empowered to verify the occurrence of any accident at any place within his view, and also cause publicity to be given for inviting applications from the victims for any compensation. Apart from the insurance contract, the funding for the purpose of compensation is also generated by the central government by the establishment of Environmental Relief Fund. This fund may be utilized by the control collector for paying the compensation. Next is the National Environmental Tribal Act in 1995. This act is aimed to provide for strict liability for damages arising out of any accident occurring while handling any hazardous substance, and for the establishment of a national environmental tribunal for effective and expend, ex, and expedition disposal of causes arising from such accident, with a view to giving relief and compensation for damages to person, property, and the environment, and for matters connected with it. The beauty of this act lies in the fact that the liability of the owner of hazardous substances has been made strict in cause of any accident and the resultant injury to public. In any claim of the compensation, the claimant is not required to build and establish that the death, injury, or damage in respect of which the claim has been made was due to any wrongful act, negligent, and default of any person. So, the burden of proof does not rest upon the claimant of compensation, which is a big relief for the victims. Next is the National Environment Appellate Authority Act 1997. The National Environment Appellate Authority NEAA was set up by the Ministry of Environment and Forest to address causes in which environment clearance is required in certain restricted areas. It was established by the National Environment Appellate Authority Act in 1997 to hear appeals with respect to restriction of areas in which any industries, operation, processes, or class of industries, operation, or processes shall or shall not be carried out, subject to certain safeguards under the Environment Protection Act in 1986. Next is the ozone depleting substances rule in 2000. The ozone depleting substances regulating and control rules have been laid down for the regulation of protection and consumption of ozone depleting substances. The main objective of this rule is protection of ozone layer. The rule restricts unauthorized sale, purchase, import, export, and use of ozone depleting substance. তোমাদের সবাইকে একটা খুব ভালো খবর জানাতে চাই, সেটা হচ্ছে এই যে ওজোন লেয়ার ডিপ্লেশনটা যেটা হচ্ছিল আমাদের এই বেশ কিছুদিন লকডাউনের জন্য সমস্ত কিছু কলকারখানা বন্ধ থাকার জন্য আমাদের কিন্তু ওজোন যে লেয়ারটা সেটা কিন্তু অনেক মডিফাই হয়েছে, আগে থেকে প্রায় 50 to 60% মডিফাই হয়ে গেছে। এটা কিন্তু আমাদের এনভায়রনমেন্টের জন্য প্রচণ্ড একটা বড় সুখবর। ঠিক আছে, আরও ভালো করে পড়ো তোমরা, নেক্সট যে ভিডিওগুলো দেবো সেগুলো দেখো। আর এটার মধ্যে থেকে কিছু কোয়েশ্চেন আমি বলছি, যে লসগুলো তোমাদেরকে বললাম, সেই লয়ের যে ডেটগুলো আছে, তারিখ যেগুলো আছে, ইয়ার, সেগুলো ভেরি ভেরি ইম্পর্ট্যান্ট। এবং এই লসগুলো কিন্তু এনভায়রনমেন্টের ফোর্থ ইয়ারের এনভায়রনমেন্টের জন্য, এনভায়রনমেন্ট সাবজেক্টের জন্য খুবই ইম্পর্ট্যান্ট। ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ ক্লাস, ভালো থাকো সবাই।